Are you kidding me? This fish is 5 times your size. He's gonna pull you overboard.
My name is Cyril Chauquet, and I travel the world chasing monster fish. And that's exactly why I'm here in Costa Rica, in search of one of the biggest predators in the ocean, weighing over 1,300 pounds, the marlin. Marlins are super powerful and can explode out of water, causing chaos and serious accidents. In Mexico, I caught a sailfish without a rod and reel, using just a line, and the fight was pretty intense.
Sailfish on a handline.
Now, I want to catch a marlin using just a handline.
That is insane.
Catching a marlin with a rod and reel is really intense, but trying to catch one using only a handline is downright dangerous.
Unstoppable.
My best friend just got stabbed in the head.
I thought I was gonna bleed to death.
But despite the extreme danger,
People have died.
I'm determined to catch one of these monsters with my bare hands.
Marlin, that's a marlin!
It's got a lot of weight to it. On my last trip to Mexico, I got to fish like the old man in the sea by catching a sailfish on a handline. And let me tell you, it was not easy. Sailfish on a handline. The old man in the sea style.
But I can't forget that Santiago, the old man in Hemingway's novel, caught a 1,500-pound marlin with just a handline for 3 days.
I know it's a story, but ever since, I've been wondering if it's actually possible to catch a marlin on a handline.
One thing's for sure, it's gonna be a challenge. Reaching speeds of more than 60 miles per hour and weighing over 1,300 pounds, the marlin is among the biggest and most powerful predators in the ocean. I'm in Puerto Jimenez, in the southwest of Costa Rica. And before I head out to sea, I need to know exactly what I'm getting myself into. So I'm meeting 2 expat fishermen that are well aware of the dangers of catching billfish.
How long have you guys known each other?
30 years.
30 years.
Yeah, pretty close to that.
Really?
Yeah.
Kurt and Will have been fishing these waters for many years and have caught their fair share of sailfish and marlin. But a few years ago, Kurt learned the hard way that catching a sailfish can be very dangerous.
And so what happened that day?
It's probably 10 or 11 in the morning. We just hooked our 5th sailfish already. I leader it, but it's got the leader wrapped around the body, and I couldn't get the bill to control the fish. So I'm leaning over, I'm in front of the fish, which was my first mistake. The fish comes shooting out. I went like that, and it got me right behind the ear,
Oh, really?
hit the hinge of my jawbone, and came out my cheek.
That's one of the craziest fishing stories I've ever heard. Kurt came within inches of death.
What are you thinking at that time?
Well, I thought I was going to bleed to death because I took my hand away, and I was bleeding like I've never bled before in my life. I lay down, kind of elevate my head, and I think, okay, I'm going to take this T-shirt away in 2 minutes. If I'm still gushing blood, I'm dead.
Meanwhile, Will, who was out deep sea fishing, heard about the accident by radio. Kurt's accident happened 22 miles offshore, and the only way to alert the first responders at the docks was to relay the message from boat to boat by radio.
So I hear on the radio my best friend just got stabbed in the head by a sailfish.
That goes to show you that with sailfish, marlin, billfish in general, you gotta be really careful because the bill is a true weapon. They use that to hunt and slash prey.
While fishing in Mexico, I came within inches of a sailfish's bill.
Hey, you look pretty good for a guy that was skewered by a sailfish.
I mean, you know, I'm lucky. If it would have been a little different angle, it could have killed me.
It's exactly the kind of story I didn't want to hear. They freaked me out.
And actually, it reminds me of another crazy story about a group of guys fishing in Australia. The sea was rough, and they were fighting a 600-pound marlin. The raging animal was jumping all over, when suddenly, it jumped right into the boat, wiping out everything in its path. One of the crew members even got hit in the head with a ladder. Luckily, no one was seriously hurt, but the outcome could have been much worse. I know that catching a marlin with a rod and reel can be risky, but I want to pull one in with just a line and my bare hands.
The idea here is to try to catch a marlin on a handline. I don't even know if it's doable.
It's not impossible, but it isn't going to be easy.
It isn't going to be easy, but
It's going to be easy. If you do get wrapped by the line, you're liable to go overboard.
Overboard, or it takes your finger
Get
off.
pulled, or take your finger off.
Over the years, I met a few fishermen that got hurt, sometimes even losing a limb.
It can be dangerous.
Yeah, you just need that one time. Then.
All it takes is a one time.
Well, that's it.
Exactly.
Well, good luck to you, too, because you're going to need it.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
After speaking to Kurt and Will, I'm gonna try to find some local fishermen who still fish using only a handline.
¿Piensan que es posible sacar un marlin a línea a mano?
Todo puede ser posible. Es muy peligroso, sí, muy peligroso.
Muy peligroso.
Mucha fuerza. Tamaño.
I'm beginning to realize that handlining has become more rare than I thought. But the fisherman put me in touch with a local who apparently still practices this tradition.
Ciao, amigos. Pura vida.
Bueno.
So I'm headed to the local watering hole to meet with that fisherman who still goes for big fish on a handline.
Hola.
Hola, hola, ¿cómo estás? Gerardo.
Cyril.
Mucho gusto.
Encantado. Me imagino que con la cadena que tienes, me imagino que ya has pescado muchos marlines, ¿no?
¿Este?
Sí.
Este es el de la buena suerte.
Es de la buena suerte. Creo que necesito uno de esos.
Podemos conseguir uno para ti, ¿eh?
Porque quiero pescar un marlín con línea a mano.
¿A mano?
A mano, sí.
¿Estás seguro?
Again, another fisherman who seems to think that handlining such a big fish is way too dangerous.
Hay un pico y un vela. Más pequeño que el de un marlin. Y el más delgado. De igual de peligroso.
Muy peligroso,
Sí,
sí.
pero el marlin es más peligroso porque es un animal grande, muy agresivo. Él viene en el primer instante y ¡pum! Y se va. Yo he escuchado de personas que han tenido accidentes con picos aquí en la mano o líneas en un dedo y ¡pum! Se cortan y se van.
So you're saying that it can be really dangerous because the fish has so much power and is so fast, especially during the initial strike, it's almost impossible to stop him.
Gerardo thinks that catching a marlin on a handline is too risky, so he suggests I start with a roosterfish first. It's been a while since I fished with a handline, so it'll be good practice for the marlin. But in exchange for taking me out, I have to do something for him.
Toros.
Sí. Para montar.
Para montar toros.
Sí, para montar toros, ¿eh?
That's interesting. If I want to go fishing with him, he wants me to help him out at a rodeo.
Turns out Gerardo is the local rodeo clown, and his nickname is Cowboy. He agrees to take me out fishing tomorrow, but I have to meet up with him in a few days to show him what I've got in the bullpen.
Trato.
Es un trato.
This morning, I'm going out with Cowboy and Captain Taboga, who has fished these waters for over 30 years. They're confident we'll catch something big.
Hey, buenos días.
¿Cómo estás?
Bien, bien, ¿y vos?
Hola, Taboga. ¿Cómo estás?
Mucho gusto, señor.
Encantado.
Bienvenido a bordo.
Bueno, el barco me gusta.
Ah, bueno, excelente. Gracias.
Sí, me gusta. Entonces, ¿cómo está la pesca?
Hemos sacado gallos grandes.
Como grande.
Sí, grandes, inmensos.
¿Así?
Sí, señor. Hemos sacado gallos grandes. Vamos, tal vez hoy. A mano, tal vez hoy es el día suyo.
Espero que sí.
Ok.
¿Eso es cicatriz de eso? ¿De pesca?
No, esto es de viejo. 70.
¿70?
Sí, señor.
No lo puedo creer.
No hay presión, no hay estrés.
No hay estrés.
No hay estrés. Entonces,
Una buena mujer.
Y bastante sexo.
The captain heads towards a secluded beach, where he knows there's some nice roosterfish.
Look how beautiful this spot is.
Hay que estar alerta aquí porque a veces se levanta la ola.
They tell me this is a great spot for roosterfish, but the problem is that there's some huge waves that could easily flip our boat. But we trust the captain to keep an eye on the waves while we start handlining.
We came as close as possible to the beach because from what they're saying, right where the surf breaks there, it's a really hot spot for big roosterfish. The only problem is that there's monster waves. So that's why he's scanning the horizon looking for potential danger, big waves. Because look at that big roller there. If you get caught by that, you flip the boat for sure.
The conditions are pretty extreme, but in less than 5 minutes, I've got a fish on the line.
Fish on.
And that's exactly what we're looking for, a roosterfish.
Así es, como el toro, dale.
I can barely stop that fish when it takes off on a run. Pretty powerful fish. De eso me estaba hablando.
Quema.
Quema mucho.
Yo te dije que quemaba, ¿eh?
That sound that you just heard, it's the fish taking off on a run and the line whipping against my arm, my forearm. It's really violent.
A few seconds later, Gerardo also hooks a roosterfish.
Dang it. Double header. 2 fish on the line at the same time. Yeah, man.
The line is whipping me so hard, it leaves marks. It's not a big fish, and yet the line is burning my hands. So I can't imagine what it's gonna be like with a marlin.
Yeah. Roosterfish on a handline.
And now, Gerardo pulls in his fish. They're both about the same size, around 10 pounds.
All right, roosterfish double header on handlines. How cool is that? Look how beautiful this animal is. I think it's one of my favorite fish with that comb-like fin, dorsal fin, that is kept folded along the back of the fish when it swims. And when the fish gets excited, it erects. Just like a lot of other things. Really cool animal.
That was a lot of fun, and these are beautiful roosterfish. But I know there are much bigger ones out there.
All right. Yes.
Así es. Pura vida.
Bueno, ahora, como te lo dije, ¿ah? La mano. Es un buen recuerdo de Costa Rica y el gallo de Costa Rica.
See, look what the line did to my arm. And it was not a big fish. Imagine with a 400-pound marlin.
We caught some nice fish, but the waves keep getting bigger and more dangerous. So we move away from the shore in the hopes of catching something bigger than the roosterfish we got.
All right, let's see if we can get a bigger fish while trolling this. Oye, cowboy, ¿así?
Y afuera. Excelente, así es.
Aprendí con el mejor.
Gracias.
After 20 minutes of trolling, I'm starting to wonder if we're gonna get a big fish at all today. But all of a sudden,
Damn, I lost the fish. Man, what a hit. The impact was so powerful when it hit. I couldn't hold the line, you know. This spool went flying and it created some slack in the line and the fish got off. But imagine that hit with a marlin. You're talking a fish, 400-pound fish. That was, I don't know what it was, but maybe at the max, maybe a 50-pound fish.
Sí, señor.
De todas maneras, me encantó el día con vosotros.
Gracias a usted por pescar
buena
con
pesca.
nosotros.
Muchísimas gracias, amigos.
A usted.
it was great fishing with Cowboy and Captain Toboga. That feeling is short-lived though. Mark, our local fishing guide, makes me question my goal of catching a marlin on a handline.
You caught a marlin?
Yeah, I've caught a marlin before, but not on a handline. This time I want to catch one on a handline.
You're nuts.
Really? You think it's...
I think you're crazy. You caught a marlin before and you want to catch one on a handline?
Yeah,
I don't think so. Everything's gonna go overboard. And you too.
Do you think?
I know. This fish is 5 times your size. 300-pound fish, 500-pound fish, 1,000-pound fish. Are you kidding me? They're gonna pull you overboard. People have died.
People have died doing that?
Overboard. Gone. You can't do it.
Seems like no one here believes that catching a marlin on a handline can be done. Well, while I was in Mexico, I met several fishermen who caught big fish this way. And I even met one who says he actually caught a big marlin with a handline.
¿Sacaste marlin con línea, man?
Sí.
Eso es lo que quiero hacer. La próxima vez, de línea a mano, un marlin.
Un marlin.
Eso me gustaría.
Even if it is possible, the way Mark reacted makes me rethink my plan.
But marlin is way too powerful. I agree with you, it's way too powerful. So what I'm thinking of doing is taking the initial strike of the marlin on a rod and reel. That way I can put some brake on that fish a little bit, slow it down, and once it's slowed down enough, then I can pass the rod on to the mate, grab the line, and hand line it.
Mark thinks my plan is almost impossible, but he tells me about a local fisherman who has a special object that could help me with handlining a marlin. So today, I'm on my way to visit that fisherman. I don't know what this invention is all about, but I'm really curious to see what he's got.
Hola, señor.
Hola, amigo, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué haces por aquí?
¿Cómo está? ¿Herman?
Sí, señor, mucho
Ah,
gusto.
sí, encantado.
Mucho vida, pura vida.
I explained to Herman that I'm here to see a special reel. But what he shows me is not what I was expecting.
Tengo uno para pescar vela.
¿Lo tienes aquí?
Sí, claro, aquí lo tengo, mira.
Este es.
Este es.
Ese es.
Este es.
Ok.
No sé si te funciona. Si te funciona, te lo puedes dejar.
¿Qué quería pegar con eso? Una ballena. I think I just met the ancestor of the fishing reel, guys. Check this out. That is really cool.
I guess this reel could help me keep control of the line.
40 años tiene.
Sí, tiene 40 años. No sé si te servirá para pescar el marlin.
Herman was given this object to help him while handlining big fish, but he never had any luck with it and thinks it's cursed. He tried it for a couple of years, but it only brought him bad luck. So it's been collecting dust for a long time now.
Muchos años aquí, ¿eh?
Sí, guardado ya.
Esperando que llegue un gringo loco para utilizarlo otra vez.
Para utilizarlo de nuevo. Vamos a ver si vas a llegar tú a utilizarlo. Mi esposo está cocinando, te invito a comer.
¿Sí? ¿Se puede?
Sí, claro. Sí.
Muchísimas gracias, amigo.
Mucho gusto, claro.
Herman seems happy to get rid of it, but I think I could use it. As for now, it's time for lunch. And here, you catch your own meal in the pond just behind the house. For bait, Herman's got another surprise for me.
My friends, this is the bait. I love it. Es bueno,
Claro. Bueno, ¿eh?
es muy rico.
Claro.
Pero esta es más dura.
Fishing with a banana. Why not?
All right, fish on.
After all, tilapia are mainly vegetarian fish, so there's no reason why they wouldn't go for a piece of banana.
Yes. Tilapia. I think this is lunch. Straight from the pond to the kitchen now.
We go back to Herman's place, and his wife and daughter prepare the fish that we just caught.
Que se ve rico. Eso es pura vida. In Costa Rica, there's an expression that says pura vida. That means pure life. People say it all the time. When you meet them, it's like pura vida. When you say bye, pura vida, they say it all the time. It's really cool. And these guys here, let me tell you, they really live by the definition because they catch their own fish directly from the pond. They pick their own fruit. They harvest their own vegetables. It's really pure life.
Buen provecho.
Gracias, muchísimas gracias. Que se ve rico, riquísimo. Quiero probarlo.
Mucho gusto, claro.
I love traveling because it gives me a chance to meet great people like Herman and his family. They're so welcoming.
Muy rico.
And this is one fish I'm glad I didn't release.
Riquísimo. This is the best lunch I've had in a long time. Really good.
Pura vida.
Eso es pura vida.
Esto es pura vida.
I really want to try to fish with the old reel. But before I do, I want to test it out. Because once I have a marlin on line, it'll be too late.
Hey, Bo.
How you doing, Cyril?
How's it going?
Excellent, brother. You ready for this?
Yeah, man.
So my friend Bo and I have come up with a plan to see if this reel can handle a monster.
The most brutal moment when fighting a marlin is the initial run. The speed and power of this fish is unbelievable. You have no idea how powerful it is. So to test this rig, we're gonna use a super powerful quad. It's not the most brilliant idea I've ever had, but I think it's the only way to test this rig. I have no idea if it's gonna work, but it's gonna be as close to a marlin as it gets.
All right, Cyril, you ready?
Yeah, ready to go, man. Oh my gosh. I destroyed the box.
He was so fast. There was no way to slow it down. The line backlashed and the reel went flying. I feel really bad about breaking the old reel. But I think I realized why Herman wanted to get rid of it. He might really be cursed after all. Nobody seems to think that handlining a marlin can be done.
You can't do it.
But I trust the Mexican fisherman who told me he did it.
¿Sacaste marlin con línea, man?
Sí.
So I make my way to Crocodile Bay Lodge to meet with Captain Todd and First Mate Anthony. Mission: catch a marlin, old man on the sea style. Todd and Anthony have been fishing these waters for years, and with their experience, I'm in really good hands to find a marlin. I explained to them that I'll start with a rod to cushion the initial strike, and then I'll grab the line by hand. For this type of fishing, we have to head 20 miles offshore. Marlins are pelagic fish, which means that they live in deep water. And as always, if we can find the bait fish, chances are the predators will be around too.
To give you an idea of the size of the fish we're looking for, this is the bait. And that's actually the smallest we're gonna be using.
How many fingers do you have this morning? 10?
10, man.
Okay, they told me that 10 after.
While preparing to catch a marlin on a handline, just like Santiago in The Old Man and the Sea, Todd explains to me how he came really close to Hemingway.
Being a Hemingway nut myself, I had to go visit Coimar, where Hemingway kept his boat and used to fish. One of the locals said, well, his captain, Gregorio Fuentes, still lives here.
Did you hear any good stories about Hemingway?
I heard some great stories. It was a great experience. And, you know, I can't tell you how many times I've read The Old Man and the Sea.
So you've been pretty close to Hemingway, actually.
Yeah, I have, but I guess if you want to be really close, you need to catch a marlin with a handline like Santiago did in the book.
Yeah, exactly.
We're about 20 miles from shore, and we come upon a feeding frenzy.
All right, we got birds, dolphins. That means there's food around. The predators are getting together.
We don't waste any time and put our baits in the water, and it doesn't take long to get a bite.
Big fish, man, big fish. Looks like a marlin, man.
It's a marlin.
That's it. Go. Sail out. You let it go. Damn it!
Look, I'll show you that there was a marlin on that bait. You'll see it's pretty obvious. Oh my gosh.
That was one slash.
One slash of its bill, huh?
One slash, that's it. Look how destroyed this thing is. Ah!
Tell me about it. Well, at least we got confirmation that we're trolling in the right spot. There's marlin around.
We keep trolling in the same area. Since we just had a bite, and because there's bait around, it might be another marlin on the hunt.
You got a bite!
It's on.
There you go!
All right. Here we go, man. That's not a sailfish, man.
Oh, look!
Marlin, that's a marlin! That is a marlin right there.
This fish has gone on a powerful run.
All right, wanna grab this rod?
You sure you want to do this?
Yeah. I'll try.
And now, the moment of truth. Fighting a 500-pound fish with my bare hands.
Watch it.
Let him finish that initial run, man.
He's running. Oh, look at him jump.
Yeah, it's got a lot of weight to it. That is insane.
Be careful.
I know. Ready for the reel?
No.
Oh, man. Unstoppable. It's like a freight train. I don't want to put too much pressure on that fish either. I don't want to pop the hook out. He's ready for a run, man. Get ready for the reel. Oh, no.
Oh!
Got off the hook. You got off?
No.
Damn. That was a big marlin, but he got off. I thought I was gonna handline a marlin like Santiago did, but not this time. And I'm beginning to get nervous, because my time here in Costa Rica is already starting to run out.
You're local, man. Handline a marlin? First time I've ever seen somebody in my life do something like that.
It's a lot of fish to pull in my hand.
No kidding. Well, at least the fish is not swimming with a hook in its mouth.
Or dragging you behind him.
Exactly.
That was a big fish. But we can't let it get us down. We just gotta keep trolling, hoping for another shot at the marlin.
Saw something?
The day's coming to an end, and no sign of another marlin. But then again, it's not an easy fish to find, so it's already pretty good that we had a bite.
Catching a fish on a handline is a nice warm-up, but now I'm getting cooked in the sun.
We keep trying. Natural bait, artificial lures, but still no bite. 2 more hours go by without any action, but we have to keep believing.
You know, after all, we're looking for one of the biggest fish, one of the biggest predators in the ocean, so can't be that easy.
All of a sudden, I see something strange in the water. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Check this out, that's pretty sad. That's a sailfish, a dead sailfish floating on the surface. You know what killed it is a long line. He took the bait on a long line. The long lines, you know, the problem with it is that it's not selective. You know, you can catch a sailfish, marlin, tuna, sharks, even turtles take the bait, because what the idea is, it's a long line. That's exactly what the term is, a long line with a bunch of hooks on the line and just keep it floating in the water. ¿Hasta cuántas millas pueden ser las líneas?
A veces 10, 20 millas.
20 millas?
Sí.
Wow. 20 miles. He said they can be 20 miles long, the long lines. Crazy.
These long lines are put out to catch mostly dorado or mai. But obviously, they catch anything that passes by, including our boat. So I get it off the prop, and all of a sudden, I see 2 sailfish lurking nearby. There's still lots of bait on this line, so I scared them off. At least, there'll be 2 less victims of the long line today. Man, today was not my day. First losing that marlin, then seeing that poor sailfish. I could do with a change of scenery before I get back to trying to handline a marlin. So it's a good thing that tonight, Cowboy has something in store for me.
Trato. Es un trato.
In exchange for a great day of catching roosterfish on a handline, I promised Cowboy that I'd help him at the rodeo. But that means going into the arena and facing massive bulls with serious horns.
Entonces dime lo que va a pasar.
Hoy, básicamente, va a ser una fiesta.
Una fiesta. No se ve, no se mira como una fiesta.
Y nunca, la cosa más importante de todo, nunca trates de correr en línea recta, porque el toro es más rápido que tú.
A deal is a deal, but I'm starting to seriously wonder if catching a roosterfish on a handline was worth it.
So basically, if I understand properly, you always run in zigzags and you never lose sight of the bull's head. And you say your prayers. And it's not a little bull.
All my survival instincts are telling me to get out of here. But it's too late. It's time to face the bulls. A few years ago, I ran in a ring with some smaller bulls. But seeing this huge one trying to climb over an 8-foot gate is pretty insane.
Yeah, rápido este, eh?
Sí.
He just said that this one is really fast.
I can't tell you how fast he is, but I can assure you that he's big. Cowboy's job is to distract the bull once the rider has fallen, because it would take only a few seconds to be trampled, or even worse, impaled.
Eres loco.
Toda la vida.
Toda la vida haciendo eso, ¿no?
Más o menos, no toda la vida, pero sí.
And now, it's time for me to test my own powers of persuasion. And eventually, it works.
Él es muy manso.
See? He says that the next bull is pretty quiet. Normally they sit in the middle of the arena and nothing happens. But for some reason, I'm not gonna sit.
No hay problema.
No hay problema. Tienes un par de...
Para los toros, nada más.
Now that I've faced the bulls, I'm more motivated than ever to take on a marlin on a handline.
Muchas gracias por la experiencia. Muchas gracias por la adrenalina.
Pura vida.
But it looks like the night is only getting started. Cowboy invites me for a little bit of night fishing with his friend. To get to their secret fishing spot, we have to trek for a couple of hours through the ominous Costa Rican jungle.
It's never easy when I go fishing.
Cyril. Cocodrilo.
Check this out. A crocodile. An American crocodile right there. You see it? It's actually one of the largest species of crocs in the world.
One fun thing to know about them is that they feed mainly at night.
¿Y vosotros quieren cruzar el río aquí?
Hay que cruzar por ahí.
The guys are a little crazy. There's a croc in the river, and they want to cross it. But you know what? I don't think we'll cross right here.
We continue our trek along the river, and little by little, the jungle turns into mangroves. That means that we're getting close to the mouth of the river. The good news is that it's low tide, so we can cross to the other side. The bad news is that we can't really see what's lurking below the surface.
Cyril, tiburón.
Ahí, así, es un tiburón, sí. Check this out, there's a shark right there. ¿Y aquí a raya?
Rayas aquí.
Sí.
Cyril, hay cientos de rayas.
That's cool to know. He just told me that there's a lot of stingrays around here. It's pretty dangerous, so you want to shuffle your feet through the sand. That way, if you feel a stingray, you're gonna just feel the edge of the fish and it's gonna move away on its own. What you don't want to do is make big steps on the sand, because if you step on it, that's when it stings you.
But we make it to Cowboy's secret spot, safe and sound. I tie a solid rig, because there could be some monster fish out here, especially at night. That's when the big predators come inshore to feed.
Let me tell you, it's gonna feel good to do some casting. It's been a while.
These guys really know how to fish from the shore, local style.
Check out their technique to see if there's a strike on the line. I love it because it's very simple. The way it works is they wedge the line into the tip of the stick here that is barely anchored into the sand right there. So basically the way it works is that if there's a bite, it makes the stick move or even fall on the sand, and they can see that there's a bite even from a distance. Entonces, Cowboy, ¿cuál es lo que pica más aquí?
De noche.
Sí.
Tiburón, pargo, raya, jurel también.
¿Jurel grande?
Jureles grandes.
There seems to be quite a bit of fish around here.
Now, we begin the waiting game. According to Cowboy, there are lots of fish around, so hopefully it shouldn't take too long.
Pique.
Cowboy runs to grab the line. He hands it to me so I can keep practicing with a handline for my last day of marlin fishing tomorrow.
I wanted to catch a fish on a rod and reel tonight, but I guess I'm on the handline again. Gracias, amigo.
In the dark, it's almost impossible to know what's on the line. But one thing's for sure, it's fighting hard.
Es un buen pez. Hola. Hola. Tiene fuerza ese pez. That's a nice sized fish. Doesn't want to come up.
Ow! That whipping again. Finally, I see what's on my line.
Oh, es una raya.
¿Una raya?
Sí, es una raya.
Tenga cuidado con la ponzoña.
Sí, ya estuvo. Ya me... Sí.
I gotta be super careful bringing in this fish.
¿Hay otro?
Sí.
All of a sudden, Cowboy gets a big hit. I duck under his line to avoid getting tangled.
Yes, another double header. Every time I fish with Cowboy, this is what happens.
It looks like Cowboy has a big fish on the line.
Robalo bueno.
¿Puedes robarlo, no?
Sí. Wow. Mira ese robalo. ¿Qué clase de robalo? Wow. Oh, yeah. My gosh.
Todo lo que andábamos buscando.
Sí. Muy bueno ese snook. Look at the size of that snook. That's a big snook right there. Unbelievable. Más grande robalo que vi de mi vida.
Ah, ¿en serio?
Sí, de verdad. Enorme. ¿Cuándo tiene? De 10 kilos, ¿no? 9 kilos.
10.
Well, I'm gonna go back to fighting my stingray.
Dale. Eres bueno con la línea a mano, ¿ah?
Ahora sí. Pero tu lugar de pesca, amigo.
Gracias.
The stingray, it's not so much that the fish is a strong fighter, but it's just the shape of the animal itself. You know, it's kind of flat, so it stays on the bottom. He uses its body weight and its body shape against you, basically. Look, it's putting itself sideways.
Oh no, it's not a stingray. I think it's a cow nose, and he lost its barb.
No tiene pico, No. It's not a stingray. I was sure it was a stingray. It's not.
It's a cow nose. Now that I'm sure it's safe, I can land this fish.
Yes! Finally managed to land this ray.
I can hold this ray safely because at some point in its life, it lost its barb.
What's cool about it is the way to propel themselves in the water. They use the wing-like fins to literally glide through the water as if they were flying. And clearly, it's a bottom feeder. Look where the mouth is located. So they basically glide over the bottom and they suck whatever they find on the bottom.
That was a really great fight. Time to let this guy go.
Hey! Gracias. Gracias, amigo.
Vale la pena la espera, ¿eh?
Sí, una raya, pero tú, robalo grande.
Robalo.
Vamos, amigo.
Gracias.
That was a great night of fishing.
Look at the size of that snook. Unbelievable.
Today's my last chance.
Yeah, it's got a lot of weight to it.
And I'm more motivated than ever to catch a marlin on a handline. So I'm headed out once again with Captain Todd and First Mate Anthony to try to catch one like in the Old Man and the Sea. But I'm getting nervous because no one here seems to believe it's possible. But I know it is.
Puedes perder hasta la mano entera con este tipo de línea pescando a mano.
Although they know it's dangerous, the fishermen that I've met in Mexico have done it.
¿Sacaste marlin con línea, man?
Sí.
So to lower the risks, I've decided to use a rod and reel to cushion the initial strike, and then grab the line and pull the fish in by hand. My plane leaves tomorrow, so it's now or never. On our way out, Anthony tells me a story about when he had a close call with a marlin.
Fishing on a big boat, and the fish came up and jumped and slashed, tore open my shirt, got me too. But that could have ended up worse. Even on rod and reel, it's very difficult. Doing it like that, I don't know, man. I gotta be honest to God, I don't know.
Just what I needed to hear. Another crazy story.
I'm really starting to wonder if it's actually possible to catch a marlin on a handline. This whole handline thing, you know, like even catching a sailfish on a handline. The line goes out so fast that my fear is that the line gets wrapped around my finger or my wrist. And if that's the case, I have a knife to cut the line, but by the time I reach the line and cut it, I'll already be pulled out of the boat and swimming after the marlin.
Suddenly, we see a group of birds hunting small fish. It's a good sign. There might be some marlin around.
That's crazy. The bait fish are so scared of the tuna underneath and the birds on top that they actually seek cover on top of the shell of the turtle.
But the thing is, the turtle eats one here and there. And if they manage to stay away from the predatory fish, then the birds get them. Look at that. Predator versus prey.
That's crazy. Actually, what's happening is that the bait fish, look, they're actually looking for the cover of the boat, but they're being chased by all the predator fish.
And with all these fish around, it's time for more handline practice.
I'm trying to catch myself a little tuna on a handline. You know what I like about the handline is that direct connection with the fish. You know, like you feel the bite, boom, right on your arm. Your arm is the rod, and then the reel is your other hand.
Yeah, well, we grew up fishing like that.
Yeah. You know, you feel everything. You feel if the fish... Whoa. That's what I'm talking about. Can you imagine, you know, I could barely hold a line for that bite, and that's just a small fish. It's just a small tuna. So imagine with a sailfish or a marlin for that matter.
Even for a fish this size, they put up quite a fight.
All right.
Sweet. That'll look good.
Yeah.
It's time to get moving. My plane leaves tomorrow morning, and with more than half the day gone already, I only have a few hours left to catch a marlin on a handline. So we travel a few miles away from the feeding frenzy because there was just too much competition for our bait. And it looks like we made the right decision because after trolling for only a few minutes, the pelagics start to show up.
Here we go.
it's got some weight to it. Okay. All right, we're hooked up. Is that him? Yeah. Nice seal too. Let's handline it. Are you ready for this? I think so. Okay, my friend, all yours.
Wow. All right. Sailfish can swim over 60 miles per hour. And let me tell you, you can sure feel it.
Handlining a sailfish is not a marlin, but it's already almost impossible to hold. He's gonna take off on a run any minute, I feel it. I can't hold it. Back to you, man.
Whoa! Oh, damn! Man.
Damn!
Oh, no.
I can't believe it. I've already lost a marlin, and now this beautiful sailfish.
Short teaser! Short teaser! He's right there! Yes!
That's crazy. A second fish followed the teasers behind the boat and took one of the lures. This is my last shot at handlining a big fish. There's no way I'm losing it. All right, old man in the sea style.
Catching billfish.
Oh!
Right, sailfish on a handline.
Been a long time.
Now, I gotta grab the fish's bill so I can release it. But it's fighting me really hard.
All right.
All right, sailfish on a handline. It's not a marlin, but
it's a beautiful animal. I don't waste any time and jump in the water and help this fish swim away.
Yeah.
Nice job, real nice job.
Well done. Un poquito loco, but good.
All right, thanks a lot, buddy.
Thanks a lot.
sorry to get you all wet, but
I don't care.
Anthony would have loaned you one of his Speedos.
All right,
I'd
well
like
done.
to see you in a speedo, man.
No!
Man, maybe not, actually.
No.
Thanks, Todd. That was cool. Thanks, guys.
This is the end of my trip in Costa Rica. I came here with a real challenge, to catch a marlin on a handline, like Santiago in The Old Man and the Sea.
Oh, look!
Marlin, that's a marlin!
That is a marlin right there.
We had two on the line, and I got to fight one by hand for a while. But it was super powerful, and got off.
Spin the hook.
But I kept trying, and managed to land a beautiful sailfish.
All right, sailfish on a handline.
Now, it's time for me to go. I'm a little disappointed, but at least I caught a big fish. I met some great people.
Well, I gotta tell you, I'm a little bummed out that I didn't get this marlin, but I'm not gonna stop until I get it.
I have to admit that I'm starting to wonder if catching a marlin on a handline is possible. One thing's for sure, I'll be back to try again.
How about if we just throw you a line and drag you behind it? Maybe we'll catch something really big.
Whatever happened to the fish? And he goes, oh, yeah, right after I saw you bleeding, he says, I tightened the drag down and just broke it off, you know, and I'm like, okay, so the fish made it anyway.
The fish made it.
Catch and release, baby.
It's a crazy story.
But it's true.
He's got a pair of them like this.